Well, Social Distortion got into some sort of altercation with Sonic Youth, and so we had a hit record at the time. We played the Cow Palace. We did Reno. We didn't do LA because I think somebody else did that one. Maybe Social Distortion. That might have been their last one. So we jumped on in Reno, which was weird because about a year or two before that, we had been in Reno in the same parking lot with Leonard Skinner. So it was like we're probably the only band that's ever opened for Leonard Skinner and Neil Young. Period. And then also within a time frame of Neil Young, because it was the original Skinner that was survived the plank. It was Ed King. It was everybody. It was Leon, Ed King. It was a great band, and they had guitar chords. There was no radar unit. It was really and it was one of those things where it was like we were trying to go out with people, but Nirvana had already kind of hit a little bit, so we were on the wrong side of the fence of that situation, so we were struggling to find people to open for. So so Social Distortion, thank you very much, was the reason that we wound up opening for Neil Young. And so we were open for Sonic Youth, who opened for Neil Young, so it was kind of like that, Yeah. And I don't know if Neil Young might have seen us. I don't know. We really got along with Pancho, Frank San Pedro, right? And so he's the Crazy Horse guitar player who had been with him for a long time. And so we had one after the tour was over. We played the motocross championship in L.A. at the Forum. We were in the hay bales on the end of the thing, and he joined us for Rockin' to the Free World, which is another good moment in our history.
Did you get to meet Neil at all during this?
I mean, briefly, he's really kind of like, he hung out with Sonic Youth. We were kind of like the tour was almost over, and we were just, I mean, it was okay. I mean, it was great to play. The Cow Palace was the best because that was general admission. So, but besides that, it was usually just an amphitheater or something where, you're playing for people, and then it's just fun to watch people watch Sonic Youth, and they were great. Obviously, I think Seattle was in an arena too. That was really good. I remember in Seattle, my dad lived in Seattle, so the Sonic Youth dressing room was like full of celebrities. It was like Matt, whatever. Who's the guy that was Matt Dillon? He was making that movie up there, and it had a bunch of celebrities and stuff. And our room, of course, is like crickets. There's like we're sitting in the those arena locker rooms. So we used to bring Christmas lights. We had ours decked out pretty good, as best we could, because there's just mirrors and lights. And I remember they kept kicking Chris Novoselic out for something because he was just really hammered or something. I don't know. And my dad kept letting him back in. Like they kick him out, he'd be in the back door, and then my dad would go outside and have a cigarette and be like, "Oh, you just come back in. You just come."
They were kicking him out of the backstage area?
They kicked Chris out at least once, and my dad let him back in. He's like, whatever. Yeah. But I think he was, they were just, I don't know what was happening. It was the coolest thing I'd ever did. The coolest part of that tour that ever happened was that somewhere in Edmonton, in the hotel lobby, was a strip club. And it was one of these weird Canadian strip clubs where they had like girls would shower. It'd be like a shower. And so I remember like waiting to go catch something, a shuttle or something. And then Neil Young came in with like Thurston Moore and sat down. And I wasn't sitting with him. I was sitting like, there's Neil Young and Thurston Moore in the lobby bar, which was a strip club. So I thought that's going to be a moment of history. But we were huge Neil Young fans, of course, and Rockin' the Free, especially that era. That was 91. I think it was Reggae Glory Tour. So it was really cool to see Crazy Horse every night. And, it's a magical thing to see Crazy Horse because just the guitar sounds are just, he has all these secret amps under the stage, and it's just this really great vibe. And it's just, he's Neil Young. It was just insane. And at the end of the tour, he signed my guitar. I have a white guitar. He signed it, and it had like a mark in it or something like that. Like it had a big hole punched in it. It was a J200. I still have it. It lives mostly at David Barbie's studio in Athens, but so he signed it. But right before that, it was the last show. I think it was in Vancouver maybe or something like that, and the band got into they screwed up like Rockin' in the Free World or they screwed up something at the end of the show and got into a fight backstage, so we could hear the band fighting. And so we're like, it's the last show. Why would they be fighting? And then we're like, so it was like, please don't ask for autographs until the end of the tour. So we're kind of like, can we please get our autographs, sir? So he signed mine, and then he signed my drummer Jeff Sullivan. He signed a band that don't fight, don't play right. Neil Young. I was like, oh, why couldn't he wrote that on my guitar? It's like that's like the most valuable. Oh, sorry. Drumhead ever. So, but it was a similar thing. It was like when we also did we also toured with the Who, which was like the Quadrophenia tour. They redid Quadrophenia, so that was like another like they needed a band that would play till the sun went down because they had they didn't have the actors from Quadrophenia. They had other people playing the roles as Jimmy, which was kind of weird, but it's on a big screen. It was like projected, I think. I don't think it was a video screen. The best part of that too is we did, you get like $500 for opening those shows, which I don't care. But we asked for like asked for tickets to the show. So we watched the Who every night, Quadrophenia every night. Same thing with Neil Young was like, we'll just want tickets. Like, we just want to make sure we sit. And we did. We would open, then we'd go sit out and watch Sonic Youth, and then watch Neil Young, and then Neil Young made that Weld record. He took all the feedback and made Thurston Moore talked him into making this, or not talked him into it, but.
Did you ever cross paths with Neil anytime after that?
I think we opened for him. I mean, we didn't open for him, but we were at Live Aid in Iowa. No, it was
Farm Aid. Was that what it was? Farm Aid.
Oh no, Farm Aid.
Farm Aid, yeah.
That's what it was. It was Farm Aid. I just watched the special on Live Aid. That's what it was. It was Farm Aid, and it was like Roseanne and Tom Arnold were the hosts, and it was cool. The cool thing was that it was the Highwaymen, and Ringo was there with somebody, and I remember Neil Young was there, and we were kind of in a weird influx. We had just released this record called Smoke, which wasn't a very popular record. I mean, we sold we had a gold record from that one, and then so I don't know, the song on it, I think we might have done Turn It Up or Turn It Off, which Todd Snyder just recorded for this acoustic version, really cool, but I don't know if he liked us. I'm not sure Neil Young really knows who we are. You know what I mean? I'm not sure he spent any time exploring our catalog or anything, but I don't know. Yeah. He was never like, man, we really love where you're coming. I don't remember him actually speaking anything positive to me ever. Yeah.
One of the worst parts about the business is you get to do this thing, but there's no real communication, so you don't really know how they feel, even though you were invited onto the thing.
Yeah, but, and I know that we were invited because of the agent or whatever, and, I mean, I have people open for me sometimes that were like, I can't believe we open for you, and I'm like, I rarely watch the opening act, and if I don't see the opening act, it's usually because I'm afraid that they're too good and that I'm going to try to replicate them in some sort of way. So it's kind of it's a badge of honor if I don't know. But I mean, we have. So I don't know. I don't know if they, rarely do those huge acts. I know they got so much more on their mind, and yeah, I think Neil pretty much sleeps, or not sleeps, but he gets himself together like after sound check and stuff, he does his own thing in his bus, and I learned that like, when he has a California flag up, like don't knock on the door. You know, not that I would knock on the freak Neil Young's door, but like don't knock on Neil's door. I was like, okay, I could do that. But yeah, I don't know if he knows me from Adam, but thank you, Neil, for. Maybe Frank told him. I don't know.
How did that Skinner thing come around?
Well, Skinner thing was that one of those things. They asked us if we would open for them, and we were like, we're in that weird part of our career where we were like, you know, our drummer was really into Smashing Pumpkins and all that and everything like that, as I was too. But you know, I know from the reality of what our music sounds like, you know, we weren't really an alternative. I mean, we're alternative band, and then we kind of, I don't know, we wound up making a rock record with rock producers, and
Just
we did the right.
These labels don't serve us, I don't think.
Yeah, they don't serve us, and yeah, I mean, whatever.
I think there was.
But I'm being penalized for it.
Right.
To this day, I'm being penalized for it.
There was a time just a little bit before this. I learned this that the New York Dolls' best friends were Leonard Skinner, and they would open for Skinner for long tours for a few years.
Yeah.
And everybody was fine. The audience was happy with it because they went and saw a rock show.
Right.
And all these years later, we subdivide all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And it doesn't serve anybody, I don't think.
I don't, and I love it. I mean, I like the weirder the better or whatever. So I thought it would be fine, you know. We were though trying to get somebody because we did the REM tour, you know, that we did the '89 REM Green tour East Coast, and so we were like kind of that was Mystery Road though. That was like '89. That was before we had the MTV hit, you know, where we had our hair poofy and we had the thing where we were trench coats and I don't know what the hell was happening in Hollywood, and we're doing what we're sorry again. But yeah, so in my perfect world in 1991, if Soundgarden would have asked us to tour, we would have been yes. If anybody would have asked us to tour, like that was like, but the Nirvana world really kind of, you know, and being from Atlanta is like a really weird place to be from. It's not like, people in New York don't care, people in LA don't care. It's a really weird place to have a big following, you know, like we're selling out the Fox 3 nights in a row, but we can't get we have to go to LA and maybe we can get a gig at the Whiskey, maybe, you know. It's like it's like a weird, because people in LA don't give a shit and people in New York don't give a shit. Even our label, like we would go to our label after 3 albums and be like, hey, we're here to like, yeah, we're not signing bands right now. I was like, yeah, we have 4 records out, and they're on your label, but we just want to talk to our A&R person, if that's okay. So it's, you know, it's an uphill battle when you're from the South, but it kind of gathers all of us together between, you know, like Butch Walker and the truckers, and we all have this, like, we kind of know what we're up against, like I think the truckers would probably tell you, like, or the Blackberry Smoke. It's like, if you guys give us barbecue one more freaking time, like we eat other food, okay? We eat other food. You're like, yeah, this man's from Coney Island. Yeah, get him Coney Island hot dogs everywhere they go. It's like, yeah, we eat real food too, you know. Yeah, you're from New York though. Yeah, we got a hot dog buffet. We got 40 kinds of hot dogs. We got different hot dogs. We got beef. We got pork. We got veggie. I thought you guys like hot dogs. You're from New York. I was like, okay, you know, we do eat other things, you know. Yeah.